Welcome back. When a loved one passes away, it's an emotional time, often riddled with the added challenges of sifting through their belongings, bank accounts, and unpaid bills. But who's in charge of paying for those debts? A great question. Joining us today to answer it is our legal expert, Danielle Mayoras. Thanks for being on with us.
Thank you for having me.
So I love that we acknowledge right off the bat, you are already going through so much at this time. It just seems like an added cruel task. Does a family member have to pay their loved one's debts after they pass away?
Generally, no. This is a huge question we get all the time in our office. So you're not personally responsible to pay, if you're a child, your parents' debts when they pass away. But whoever is in charge of mom and dad's estate or their trust, they need to use money from the will or the trust to pay those creditors.
And is this all encompassing, like are we talking outstanding car loans and credit cards, or just more of the mortgage and estate?
Well, there's a process where you have to publish notice for creditors, so they have a time period where they can come forward. If there's any known creditors, you need to actually provide them notice by mail personally. You can't just publish in a newspaper. So it really runs the gamut as far as what creditors come forward.
Exceptions to so many things. Are there exceptions for this?
Always. So generally, as I said, you're not responsible to pay mom and dad's debts. But if you co-signed on something, which is pretty obvious, then the creditors can come after you and your assets as well. But what's not as obvious is sometimes mom or dad might think, we have some creditors, I'm going to transfer everything to my daughter, so if we pass away, they can't go after those assets. That actually is fraudulent. And so if you transfer assets to someone in contemplation of we're going to avoid our creditors and you pass away, the creditors can try to make a claim against your daughter and her assets.
So what if there isn't enough money to pay the creditors from the trust or estate? Because you mentioned that earlier, it's whoever's responsible for that is going to be doing the bulk of this work.
Yes, it happens all the time. Sometimes there's just not enough money in an estate or a trust, and the creditors don't get paid. We had a case in our office where there was a hospital bill for $1 million. There wasn't that much money in a particular estate, so they didn't get any money at all. Other times we're involved in our office in reducing creditor claims because there might be a variety of creditors that come forward. They might say they're entitled to X, but we want to try and reduce it to Y. So that's something your attorney can help you with, getting those creditor claims down to make sure there's money for the beneficiaries, but also to make sure to the extent you can, you do pay off those creditors.
I want to make sure we touch on 401ks. How does it work if there's life insurance of a 401k that goes directly to the beneficiary?
If it's going directly to a son or daughter or a specific person, generally the creditors cannot go after that money. But once again, like we said earlier, there's always exceptions in the law. So what I would say is if you have creditor concerns and you want to make sure that that money goes on to your loved ones when you pass away, definitely meet with an attorney because there are exceptions to that rule.
I'm sure we have viewers out there who want to prevent any complications. Where do they go for information on that, whether it be online or giving you a call?
I would say definitely feel free to call our office. There's 2 times when you want to meet with an attorney. The first is when you're trying to plan out before you pass away how to title those assets. And as I said, if you have creditor concerns, there are some things you can do right or wrong to protect those assets. The other thing that is important is when you have a loved one that passes away, at that point in time, you do want to reach out to that attorney as well to try and negotiate down any creditor claims that are out there.
Danielle Mayoras, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rochelle.